welcome to another edition of What the Fuck happenings in the YouTube thing area and whatnot, something like that. Anyway, I have to got to come up with a better whatever opening thing. What the fuck? Shit. Another week on Earth. Eesh. Anyway, yeah, so it's late. Busy and such, and distractions and whatnot. Anyway, so there's some sort of news, sort of. Old fan is sort of back, so she made a few videos on this and that, and movie-related stuff mostly, dog and whatnot, and blah blah blah. So she's doing a walkthrough her movie, which is sort of, just to get her point of view, sort of interesting. Only partway through that one. And there was some guy who made a video, Brian something or other, whatever, preventing extreme suffering. I'll leave a link below. Well enough, good enough, yes, fine. Very good. Somebody else is making videos on suffering, sucking, and such. That's good. What else? Puro room. Same sort of, he did the Vic room, and then, we did another room, and it's all this conversation that's sort of, I don't know how to even, related to social, liabilities, the quality of our civilization, maybe you could title it something like that. And what is the problem, with reality, life on Earth? Get your chair there, buddy. Come on, chair. No, that's my chair. Your chair's over there. Shouldn't be confused about that by now. You should have that right. Anyway, where was I? Distracted. Sorry, yeah, it's just very tedious being alive. Alright, so Puro just keeps talking about chaos. Anyway, so it's just this, another catchphrase, another catchword. Like, you find a problem, there's chaos. Like somehow that's a cause, and chaos isn't a cause, it's a symptom. So it's, I've made videos about this, the difference between identifying symptoms and identifying diseases, causes versus the effects. And, you really do want to reduce this to a place where you can find the problem. And even analyze the solutions for, how lazy they are. So anyway, profiling comes up in these things, and it's like, profiling is just a shortcut, so the fix of the world, the, silver spooners, they're okay with that because they're not victims of it. But it's just a cheat, it's a shortcut, it's a lazy way of doing justice, right? I'll just, whatever, I'll tie a rope around everybody who's wearing sneakers, because people wearing sneakers are more likely to break into houses or something. It's just lazy, and so it's just not doing that justice thing. It's certainly not doing the Martin Luther King thing of, judge a man, an individual, based on the individual, his character, not the color of his skin, or whether he's wearing sneakers, or whether he has long hair, or all this other bullshit, because that's cheating. I mean, it works in the sense that, yes, you're more likely to be correct in your diagnosis, but it's just unfair to the people who have made the effort to do better, or be better. And, so it's not good justice, it's just lazy. And it kind of just takes deserve out of the equation. So, and this whole idea that the poor are somehow supposed to figure out how to fix the poor is also very It's laughable. Like the poor people should figure out how to fix poor people. You know, poor people are poor because they suck at everything. And, you know, one of the things they suck at is identifying themselves as poor and stupid and ugly and retarded and smelly and dirty and filthy and, you know, all the things that they are. They're really bad at figuring that out. You know, they don't even, you know, look, I've known a lot of poor people. They don't even know when they smell. And I mean reek. I don't mean like smell a little bit. I mean actually fucking goddamn stink. And you have to explain that to them. You'll be talking to them and they'll start picking their nose. And you have to explain to them, you know, that's really fucking disgusting. You have to explain that to them because they don't know. They'll scratch parts of their body and you know. I mean, you know, it doesn't even have to be poor people, right? There's some, like, even there's people who are, like, middle class even, or, you know, and they'll just sit there and fart or something, and they just don't give a shit. And you're just like, well, you know, I'm eating, for fuck's sake. I mean, you know, so, I mean, this problem, and that's not chaos that creates this problem. Chaos didn't do that. Chaos doesn't create idiots. What creates idiots, or what enables. See, you're all fucking enablers because you won't just tell poor people you're silly. You're stupid. You're ignorant motherfucking cunts. And you really, really should be on a leash. And we're being nice and saying, okay, we're not going to put you in a cage and we're not going to put you on a leash. But let's just imply that we are going to apply some rules. And so here's the little rule book. You know, don't be having no fucking kids on welfare, bitch. I mean, that's just rude. It's just fucking rude. I mean, there's working people who'd like to have children, and they can't because they're responsible and decent. And they know, hey, I can't afford it. What if something goes wrong? What if, you know, what if? And, you know, doing all that what ifing. And they figure out that, oh shit, I'm not ready for all these what ifs. You know, these what ifs could mean real harm and suffering and pain and woe, you know, for the people around me and for that child. And so they do the right thing, the responsible thing, you know. And poor people have to know that their irresponsibility isn't something we just say, oh, isn't that cute? No. I mean, there should be an honest statement to these people. This behavior is bad. You're a bad fucking person. And you're going to have to really do something miraculous in your maturation of this little cockroach you've created. Or else you're just going to be defined as a huge fucking blight. You are just a piece of fungus growing on the ass of humanity. And maybe we're going to have a list somewhere. Maybe we'll have a great wall of ass blight. You know, and we'll just, you know, like the Vietnam Wall or something. We'll put your name on the this fucker was a fucking asshole list, you know, wall. Because that's what they but they're not going to, it's not going to occur to them on their own, is my point. My point is you're going to have to do the ugly work of actually telling them, you know, you fucking stink. I mean, you really are obnoxiously odorific. You're going to have to do that. And that's the real problem. It's the only thing that can fix the poor, stupid masses, the ignorant, huddled, smelly scum, are the people who aren't smelly scum. They're the ones who are going to have to inform the poor, smelly scum. They're poor, smelly scum. They're going to have to sit there and rub it in their face. They're going to have to look. Here's a picture of me at work, you fucker. You see this work I have to do every fucking day to pay your fucking electric bill? You see it? You're going to have to rub it in their goddamn face so they understand that they're not entitled. Because they didn't do this thing. They didn't do this obnoxiously unpleasant thing, you know, that these poor people aren't willing to do. And that this gives people rights when they do things. Not sitting on your ass watching cable TV paid for by somebody else. You just don't have kids when you're poor. Being preggo and poor, that should get us a fucking bucket of blood poured on your head. Or you kick down the stairs, or whatever. But I'm just saying, if you want to correct for these things, you got to have the right policy. The right policy is something, try to turn into a carrot. So you give people an automatic pile of money at birth, right? $5,000. Every child is entitled to $5,000, and you give it to them in increments. You get a little pile of it when you're 13. You get a little pile of it when you're 16. And the whole point is you lose all of it the minute you have a kid. Yeah, all of it. You don't get any more. Nothing. Something like that. And then you have punishments. If they don't get the carrot you're providing, and they still decide to be assholes, yeah, well, then you make them pay for their assholery. Make them feel the goddamn pain that they're imposing on somebody else. Shove the stink back in their own faces somehow. I mean, it's hard to make a smell that some poor people will notice as a smell, of course, because their nose has been everywhere. I mean everywhere. Disgusting personal practices. I've seen some of that too. Never get that stuff out of your brain. There ain't enough soap in the universe. Ugh. Anyway, so yes, poor people suck, and they're not going to know it until you tell it to them, because they're too fucking stupid to figure it out on their own. So anyway, so now I'll do something even ruder, just since I'm on the being rude thing. Black culture. So yeah, I mean, Vic is okay. These are identifiable things that suck, and it's true. I mean, black culture is just to use a Jesse Jacksonianism. It's a gutter religion, and that's all it is. It's a gutter religion. It's a philosophy of just being a jackass. I mean, it has no redeeming value whatsoever. There's just nothing in it except whore and anger and pettiness and rudeness and I don't wanna, and there's just nothing in it. There's just no element of it that has anything at all with a shine to it. It's all just dirty yellow shit, and yeah, we can do without that. I mean, the whole black Christian thing was retarded. The whole black capitalist thing is retarded. I mean, look at the. I mean, every part of black culture is just retarded. Let's wear silly hats and bright colors and pretend that's good enough. Oh, that's not good enough. And sing songs. No. I mean, but yes, I mean, it's just the cliches, the Jesse Jackson types is just so obvious, they're just lying crooks in the end, talking all this big blah blah blah, like they're trying to save somebody, and all they're trying to do is get a $500 suit instead of a $300 suit. I mean, so superficial, just void of anything shiny that means anything. It's all fake. It's all show. Nothing inside. It's all about the outside. Something like that. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, but it's just that whole thing, because you could see it like when you used to have some TV, they used to have these people on TV anyway. You could see some of this stuff, and the black churches, and they were always just talking about you're entitled to be some kind of entrepreneur and basically come up with some kind of shammy business to screw your neighbors out of their money so you can have a fancy suit. I mean, they were selling pyramid schemes to each other, and you're just like, you can't figure out how that's a zero-sum game, baby? I mean, but that's how dumb the poor are. The poor are just so damn stupid, they'll keep buying the lottery tickets. I mean, they won't do the math on a piece of paper and figure out how, oh, this comes out to thousands of dollars thrown down the toilet. So, I mean, somebody has to say it. And if society isn't going to tell poor people, you're too damn dumb to be doing anything important. So just try not to break anything, okay? Try not to break anything, you stupid retard. It's like having a retarded kid. But again, like I said, the Vicks of the world who think they can fix themselves. Yeah, sorry, that ain't gonna happen. Um, but I'm not, look, all the liars at the top are more disgusting. The pull up your bootstraps and such, like I did by inheriting a big pile of money and privilege and advantage. I mean, that stuff is just so disgusting. These people who never really did any hard work, never had to work a shitty job in their life, telling other people to pull up their boots. Oh, I have a $500,000 a year job. Completely manufactured and, just contrived by my advantages. It's not like I do anything especially special. I'm just declared especially special, and therefore I'm entitled to an especially special salary. I mean, that fake is just more disgusting. That's more of a disgusting blight. It certainly costs society more. The lazy rich certainly cost the society a lot more than the useless poor. They just squander because they can. They have so much more money to squander, and they have so much more capacity to waste our labor than the poor do. So, like in one day, a Bill Gates will manufacture useless work for people to do to serve his extravagance. Then 50,000 poor people could, with all their little welfare checks, could blight you in a sense of having to pay people to do things that people shouldn't be paid to do. So getting back to Pirro, Pirro doesn't understand anything. It's like he brought up, I just remember he brought up the luxury tax and implied how it was a bad idea because, people making yachts would lose their job. And it's just so fucking stupid. It's so, it's just so obvious how, you haven't thought with any depth if you haven't figured out nobody should be making yachts. If anything, they could be making canoes or they could be making kayaks, but nobody should be making yachts. They should have a job making Hoover dams. They should have a job doing something socially productive, not something that's going to comfort, 1/1,000,000th of a percentage of the human race. I mean, there shouldn't be industries devoted to that, making mattresses to pile up so the queen doesn't feel the pee in the mattress or something. We shouldn't be spending human labor. People shouldn't go down to coal mines and stuff and do all that shit so it can be wasted on such silly purposes. Like I said, they're just still, well, he's, like I say, he's obviously too stupid. Chaos did it. Yeah. No, there's real causes. There's real diseases. I'll go back to Dickens. I mean, he made it simple enough in the Christmas Carol, right? Two things: ignorance and want. And they're little impoverished, blighted children. But he, made the point that these two things, out of control, these will consume you. This will destroy you. These things. These are, blights. And you're not going to fix them by wishing them away. But see, that's the other thing, it's all this education talk. There's no point in, algebra is not going to make somebody a decent human being. Knowing how to spell isn't going to make them a decent. I've known lots of people who knew how to spell a lot better than me, and they were assholes. So obviously spelling isn't the answer. What they have to understand is somebody has to write on the blackboard. Poor people generally suck at just about everything. That's why they're poor. Yes or no? True or false? Now let's hear the arguments in defense of poor people and how functional they are. Because you're not going to have one. If you don't put them in cages, if you don't guide them specifically, they'll break and destroy and blight anything. They are a menace. Yeah, write that on the blackboard. So, I mean, if the education isn't going to be anything about your responsibility to the rest of the human beings that exist on this planet and the future, like you can't figure out that, oh yeah, well, if I if I go down the street and I take a sledgehammer just break the sidewalk as I walk on it. Oh, I've used it, so its value's already used up, so I'll just break it on the way out. I'm just saying this. You have to understand that you can't leave the place dirtier than you got it, kind of a thing. And there's just way too many people that don't figure that part out. So I mean, if your education isn't going to have anything to do with the idea of your obligations as a citizen of the United States, kind of a thing. And that's where this whole thing goes sideways, because there's all these people. They've turned being a citizen into of no value, because they're making non-citizens somehow right endowed, totally great human beings. So why the fuck would you want to be a citizen? It's just obligations. I mean, it's just so stupid. It's so I'm just saying, if this is how you're training the society, by rewarding people for not being citizens, giving them prizes, giving them aid and help. You don't have to do your taxes. You don't have to do anything. Just come to our service and we'll fill out all your paperwork and get you a microwave oven. Because you're a non-citizen, and of course you're entitled to all kinds of help that we're not going to give the citizens. They're not going to have any of these easy answers. They're not going to be able to go somewhere and say, fix my problem. I mean, it's just, you can't get more upside down. You just can't do it. So, yeah, you want to destroy a civilization? You want to turn into idiocracy? Well, that's the way to do it, boy. Reward people for not taking responsibility. Yeah, go ahead. See how long that'll work. So anyway, just don't. Yep. Yeah, these people ain't gonna fix the problem. That's what it comes down to, and it is quite hopeless, because everybody's just so damn stupid. I mean, even the whole immigration thing. Even the people that are smart enough to say, hey, this really isn't going to work, this math of immigration, just means we're just going to give the country away to Mexico. We're giving it away to these other cultures, and this culture will be consumed and die. That's the math. That's the reality. Watching it happen right before our eyes. English will be a minority language soon enough. And obviously the problem isn't, you don't need fences, you don't need any of this shit. You just need the simple law that they had for 2 weeks and then decided, oh gee, this works too good. And that is, you have sanctions against employing people who aren't citizens. But it's so complicated. It's not complicated, see, that's the whole point. It's just not. And there's no advantage to come here and degrade the quality of life in this country. Just like I said, there's just no denying what's happening. I mean, the importation of this desperation is just a way of forcing the labor in America to become desperate labor. Keep wages down. That's it. Incur debt so they can keep financing debt. That's, I guess, the other element of it, is you have to have a growing population so you can keep expanding the debt, and you have some hope of having the debt paid for, like theoretically. Theoretically there's hope, even though there's no real hope. They have theoretical hope because they can just keep pointing to the expanding debt. Even though the debt is just paying the debt, it's just paying the debt, it's just paying, it doesn't work. But they can't, as soon as you stop doing the expansion, well then you're theoretically in trouble. Because then you have too few pockets to pick, to pay the pest bills. So anyway, just all so fucking ugly. It's a bug planet. Should write that on a blackboard somewhere. It's a bug planet. We have called ourselves something else, but it's just bugs. And there was really just no point in having this whole intelligent thing, because everybody just uses it to be a scheming, selfish cunt. So, no point. Yeah. And if they're not a scheming, selfish cunt, they're an indoctrinated, drony sycophant to simplistic drivelisms. Yeah, yeah. I mean, people just, the whole Tesla fanatics and everything. I just get, you get these comments by these science truthers. Oh God, they're just so irritating. Don't know shit, don't understand shit, and they just pontificate on the truth and how everybody else doesn't have it. And they have a pocket full of shit. I mean, it's just fucking Cracker Jack toys. This is real science. I'm reminded, damn, I hate this planet. Ugh. Thunder turd. Thunder troll, thunder whatever. I mean, just... How stupid does feminism have to be before it falls? Or fails, I guess it fails. Oh, how, gee, I mean, them women's having pregnancies and periods and stuff, and not having a penis, that's no burden. Yeah, that fails. Sissies, stupid sissy women. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's just. Yeah. It hurts. It sensually hurts to contemplate how big an asshole humanity has become. Just in my lifetime. I mean, it wasn't great, in the 70s, but man, it was so much more brilliant than this shit. Oh, God. Anyway, till next time.